Ghost Girl 007 here, and today's video is going to be a Haunted Reads. Today, right now, we are reading I Am Haunted, Living the Life Through the Dead. I don't know why I said the life, but you know what I mean. This is Zach Bagans. He's a very famous, if y'all don't know this, paranormal investigator from Ghost Adventures, the show, if you've ever watched it. If you haven't, you don't know what you're missing. Get on that. Watch it. You know you want to. Without further ado, let's get into it right now. We are about to read page 229. And this is chapter 32. Crazy fans. Some of you scare me. I have a dungeon that has become my refuge. And many days I just want to stay there. We all need a safe harbor where we can get away from everything and feel secure. Since I am a fan of Dracula and the dark bits of life, it was only fitting for me to remodel my basement into a dungeon when I had some extra money. It's me, and it's the one place I can retreat to when I had enough of everything, especially people who have no boundaries. I was filming an episode of Paranormal Challenge at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia when Dave Schrader, Chris Fleming, and I decided to get something to eat at McDonald's. Don't judge me. It was evening, and we were done filming for the day. Since Weston, West Virginia is a small town, we figured we would sit inside and eat. What could happen, right? As we strode across the parking lot, I noticed one of those old child molester vans in the back of the lot. It looked like the A-Team van from the early 1980s, except this one had no windows, so I was a little on edge with each step and with good reason. It turned out, when we were about halfway to the door of the McDonald's, the sliding door of the van opened and two women came running towards us. "Zach, you need to say hello to my daughter," the older woman said. "Hello," I said. "Do you not recognize her?" I was starting to feel uneasy. Seeing the way they carried themselves, I could tell that something about them was off, and not in a good way. "No, I don't recognize her," I replied. The girl, who was probably 15 or 16, suddenly covered her face with her hands and burst into tears. "Oh boy, here we go. Well, Zach, you've been having sex with my daughter through astral projection, and now she's pregnant." And there it was. Dave Shader has been around a lot of strange people and could see right away that this wasn't a good situation. He took charge and told the women to leave or we would call the police. Then ushered Chris and me inside. A few moments and a couple of comments later, they complied and went to their van, while we went into Mickey D's to laugh it off over some Big Mac goodness. All good, right? Nope. 20 minutes later, the van returned, and I envisioned the sliding door opening and a machine gun opening fire on us. Seriously, the mother was clearly 10 cents short of a $2 bill, and she didn't seem to care how far the situation might escalate. These words today. As she marched towards the door of the McDonald's, I got angrier with every step she took. I don't want to be harassed while I'm trying to enjoy a meal with my friends, and I won't shy away from a confrontation to stand up for my privacy. We met her in the entryway, and this woman proceeded to repeat that her daughter was crying because she'd been astral projecting herself and having a sexual relationship with me in the astral plane for a long time, and now she was expecting our loved child. someone was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Fun fact: the astral plane is a theoretical plane of existence that many religions believe souls cross over before being born and after death. Some believe that the astral plane can be visited continuously through astral projection, meditation, and mantra, near-death experience, lucid dreaming, or other means. Some claim that they can use the astral vehicle to separate their consciousness from the physical body and travel through the astral plane, but having sex across it, that would be an incredible feat of metaphysics. Dave and I calmly pointed out how crazy this story sounded and how she should listen to what she was implying. Only the Holy Spirit can impregnate women without physical contact. I am not the Holy Spirit, and I was pretty sure neither was her daughter. We again implored her to leave before the police came, and thankfully she did without resorting to violence. But I was on edge the whole time. Some people are good at hiding their intentions and will swing into unpredictably at a moment's notice. I kept expecting her to do something rash, but thankfully she never did. I never saw those two again, but I'll never look at a Big Mac the same way. Unfortunately, the paranormal world attracts a lot of people like this. Though I expect that every field of entertainment has its fair share of eccentrics, there seems to be a large concentration of bizarro characters in the paranormal world. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I don't know if it's the subject of death or the supernatural, spiritual side of life that attracts oddballs, but we seem to flock to it, myself included. I'm not normal, and I never have been, but that doesn't mean it's okay to get possessed or obsessed, okay, ignore that, with me, like this next person did. Dave Schrader used to host an event through his Darkness Radio platform where he would invite 300 to 500 fans to spend 3 days at a haunted location with us and some of our friends in the paranormal profession, like Jeff Belanger and Mark and Debbie Constantino. Anyone could come and greet us at a social get-together, listen to lectures on the paranormal, participate in a ghost hunt, and help raise money for charity. While it was a great time for everyone and 99% of fans were great, there was always that 1% who were better suited to America's Most Wanted than ghost adventures. A couple years ago, we were doing one of these events at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. The Stanley is a beautiful estate nestled in the mountains about 2 hours outside of Denver. It's famous for being the hotel where Stephen King had a paranormal experience that inspired him to write The Shining. Though it's definitely haunted, it's not a very violent place, so it's a perfect environment for bringing in fans with little or no paranormal experience. On the first night, we did an auction to raise money for a local charity. That part isn't irrelevant to the story. I'm just proud to say it. I was passing through the hotel lobby after the auction when a woman stopped me and asked if she could show me a picture she had painted of me. I said sure, and I thought it was really a cool gesture until she pulled out a painting of an empty room. Is this someplace I've investigated? I asked. No, this is the room you're going to die in. She answered, She answered, "Excuse me? Yeah, this is the room you're going to die in, of respiratory failure." It's amazing how fast the human mind can switch from happiness to hellfire rage. I went off. I couldn't help it. Something about this incident really incensed me, and I lost my mind. I yelled at her to get out of the building before Chris Fleming, who has a knack for getting between me and crazy fans, stepped in to calm me down. Some people think that I won't stand up for myself. That's because I am a public figure. They can say what they want, and I'll just laugh it off because I don't want to be seen losing my cool on TMZ. But they're wrong. I'll defend myself if I feel threatened, and I won't care about the damage it causes until later. Part of me regrets blowing up at her, but another part of me doesn't. When this happened, I honestly wasn't sure whether this woman was possessed by a demon that was trying to torture me. Chris got the same feeling, and I've learned to trust his instincts. It may explain why I got so mad so fast. I don't know what Chris did to get rid of the woman, but I saw him a little while later, and he was just said that he had resolved the situation like some badass sniper. Okay, one more crazy fan story. I have 100 of them. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, but you just can't make this stuff up. And there's a point to it all eventually. The scene was Scarefest, 2013 in St. Louis. Scarefest draws a lot of people, and it is a great time, but because I'm an empath, a sensitive, it can also be a daunting adventure and sensory overload for me. When hundreds of people are standing in line to meet me, I can feel their emotions and energy, and it's overwhelming. It's like being in the middle of a loud crowd rave with lights flashing and bass thumping. Your senses are assaulted from all sides, and there's no way out. Just like a paranormal investigation, an event like Scarefest, where I interact with hundreds of people, is totally draining. And when it's over, I want to crawl into bed for a week or two, or get lost in Red Rock Canyon. I've always enjoyed Scarefest, though. It runs well, and they go out of their way to make me feel comfortable and secure. In 2009, I had just filed a restraining order against the craziest fan of all time, who had threatened to show up at Scarefest and kill me. So the organizers made sure that I had 2 jolly green giants escorting me everywhere I went. It was overkill, but you never know when someone is going to follow through on a threat, and then everyone is left to say, "We should have seen it coming." So I appreciate what they did for me. At the 2013 show, I arrived early and went to check out my booth. I noticed that there was no security, and the VIP ticket holders were allowed to walk freely around the main floor before the show started. I was cool with that, but while I was setting up the booth, a strange woman approached and showed me a collection of photos of me in various places, photos I'd never seen before. She had pictures of me doing everyday things like getting juice at the health food store and hanging out with a friend. It was like a private investigator's file or something. "You better watch yourself," she said. "Excuse me? I know someone who's photographing your house in Vegas and your cars when the garage is open and every facet of your life, like I was during the encounter with the woman who said that I was going to die of respiratory failure in the room she painted." I was instantly angry. This woman may have been mentally off, but I don't tolerate this sort of stuff. I genuinely like to meet fans and hang out with people who have made myself in the show popular, but not if it means putting up with threats or being bullied. I'm not taking time out of my life to interact with people who just want to harass me. As you may have noticed, I have a short fuse. I don't ever want to blow up and do something stupid that's going to get me in trouble. I know this about myself, so I brought a friend with me to Scarefest who's about 6'8" and 280 pounds. He told the woman to leave, and she did, but she continued to cause problems throughout the event. All weekend, she spread rumors that people were watching me and I was doomed. It was disturbing, and I wasn't happy about her having unrestricted access to me, so that was the last time I attended Scarefest. It's unfortunate that one fan can ruin it for everyone else, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I'm very confident in the way I stay protected. Some people just don't have any boundaries or filters and go out of the way to try to hurt you for whatever sick reason they're harboring. I don't want to get shot by a disgruntled stalker, or even worse, see a fan get caught in the crossfire when a stalker comes after me. So I stay in my house 90% more than I used to. But you know what? I asked for this life, so I have to deal with it all. The trappings that come with it. In the end, anyone who has achieved a modicum of fame has to realize that you will never have a normal life again. You just have to suck it up and deal with it. I worked hard to get into the limelight, and now I have to deal with the unpleasantness that it brings into my life. The alternative is never to leave the house, which is almost where I am at this point. I used to get excited about meeting people and sharing stories and theories about the paranormal, but I've been crossed by so many people with an axe to grind that it's made me jaded and gun-shy. I hate that, but it's just the way things are now. We all make sacrifices to get what we want, and for me to make Ghost Adventures successful means that I don't have any privacy ever, unless I'm in my dungeon. And that is it for today. If you like this story, then stay tuned for some more haunted reads and more of Angel Ghost Girl. So till next time, everybody, sweet dreams, or should I say sweet nightmares.